I'm going to walk you through the step-in binding that I've developed. Now, one of the things to bear in mind here is that what I have on the bindings here is just the base plate. I do not have the heel cup and the high back on here. And this is just so that this is easy to understand. The heel back and the high back, or the heel cup and the high back, and the straps, that's all standard stuff. So what we're looking at here essentially is quite a radical departure from normal Splitboard bindings. And this here, you have the pucks on the board that overlap the center joint of the board so that it's very stable. You have your climbing bracket over here that overlaps the center of the board, and then of course your joining clips. So the whole way down this board, it is held in place so that there's no movement of the two sides. The binding itself consists of two rails with a plate on the rails. You have a pin going through the front over here that has a rotating sleeve on it so that the climbing action is smooth. And then you have a locking mechanism that slides back and forward, and you have a heel climbing lifter on the back over here. So what you do is you effectively put this over the puck. You get the angle that you want, and you close this, and then once it's there, that just closes like that. And this is not a cam. This is not squeezing the rails together, this closing mechanism. It could just be pins. It's just that with pins it can fall out, you can lose them, you don't want that. So the idea here is that you have a piece that you can open and close in order to move that part on the back of the board. So you remove this very easily. You then put it back into position after you've taken it off the binding or taken it off the puck. And these are your climbing brackets. Now the climbing brackets essentially screws into the board with 2 screws instead of 3, but you could have 3 if you wanted. And then you have over here the locking mechanism for climbing, which snaps it in place. You can then lock it and unlock it. And then you have over here your heel lock. It works on friction, so it's just the friction over here with this cam that you can move with a ski pole. You push down and pull up with a ski pole. So this here snaps into place like this. And then you have your climbing action. Once you snap this into place, you close that so that there's no way that this can come out. Very simple to do, you just close it like I did there. This is you climbing up the hill. If you then want to lock it, you do that. Your heel is locked in place, can't come out. Unlock it, and off you go. And that's all done with the ski pole. You open it, do this, and that snaps off. This whole piece here is carbon pieces with got 2 hooks, if you like, for this rotating sleeve. And the way the heel climbing bracket works, just to show you quickly, over here. So you close this, lock that. You then lift your foot with your ski pole, you push down on there like this. There's your climbing bracket on the back for your heel lift. And actually there's a space over here to have a second smaller one. So you could have just the one size, or you could have 2 sizes. This is at 17 degrees. You could also have a 12 degree that I haven't put on this here right now. And that is how that works. Snaps into place, goes down, you open this, pop that off. And then when it's time to go ride mode, you find the angle that you want. And the idea of doing this on the fly, the angle on the fly, is if I'm going to be in big powder fields, open bowls, I'll tend to have more angle on my feet than if I'm going to be on something that's really steep. So I might be at like 35 degrees here and 15 degrees on my back foot for big open powder bowls, but I'll drop it down to 25 degrees and, you know, close to 0 or even slightly duck if I'm going to be on something steep. So you do that as you want. You've got indicators here that show your angle relative to what's underneath. This is closed like that and locked in place, and now it's solid. So that is essentially the Splitboard binding. This is a high-end, super lightweight carbon fiber wherever possible on the board with aluminum tracks. And that is essentially how the Splitboard binding works.